The universe has a sick sense of humor, I'll give it that much. My name is Graz'tok, senior military strategist for the Vespian Collective, and today I'm documenting the most ridiculous and terrifying first contact in galactic history. Sir, scans complete on the Sol system. Resource readings are... well, they're off the charts, Lieutenant Paxlyer reported, mandibles clicking with excitement. I hovered over the holodisplay, all 6 of my eyes widening at the data. This unassuming yellow star system was practically drowning in rare minerals, water, and biological diversity. A perfect acquisition for the collective. Opposition assessment? I asked, already mentally dividing the spoils among our allied forces. The Mechtheri would get mining rights to the outer planets, while the Jorvians could have the gas giants. Standard procedure. That's the unusual part, sir. Paxlyer hesitated, antenna twitching nervously. There appears to be only one defensive vessel. The command bridge erupted in chittering laughter. Grand Admiral Vorkesh actually spat his stimulant drink across his console. One ship? Against our armada of 6,000 vessels? Vorkesh roared, slapping his carapace in amusement. These humans must be suicidal. Or completely brain-damaged. I zoomed in on the lone human ship. Sleek design, certainly, but nothing that suggested advanced weaponry or defenses. A sacrificial offering, perhaps? Some primitive ritual before inevitable surrender? Should we hail them, Admiral? Offer terms of their surrender? I suggested, trying to maintain some semblance of professional protocol. Why waste the communication bandwidth? Vorkesh chuckled. Send a scouting party. 2 ships should be sufficient to capture their vessel intact. We could use some new slave labor in the mineral processing facilities. As our scout ships approached, something unexpected happened. The human vessel, designation HMS Defiant according to our translation algorithms, suddenly disappeared. Sensor malfunction, screamed our technology officer. No, cloak technology, countered Paxlyer. Then, just as suddenly, the human ship reappeared, between our scout vessels, which promptly lost all power and began drifting. How? That's impossible. Vorkesh stammered, mandibles hanging slack. That level of precision jump technology doesn't exist. I felt a cold sensation wash over my exoskeleton. Something wasn't right. The intelligence briefings had described humans as primitive, barely spacefaring. This was something else entirely. Admiral, I said cautiously, perhaps we should reassess our nonsense. Vorkesh interrupted. It's one ship against thousands. Prepare the main battle group. We'll crush this insignificant vessel and be harvesting their planet's resources by dinner cycle. As the battle group formed up, I couldn't shake the feeling that we were making a terrible, terrible mistake. The humans had just revealed technology beyond our understanding, and Vorkesh was treating this like a simple harvest mission. One ship. Just one ship. Why did that suddenly seem so ominous? The main battle group surged forward, 200 warships arranged in the legendary spear formation that had conquered 17 star systems. Admiral Vorkesh was practically salivating as he gave the attack order. Record this for the archives, he commanded. The glorious moment when the human species learned its rightful place in the galaxy. That's when our communication systems crackled to life. A human face appeared on all screens simultaneously, bypassing our encryption like it wasn't even there. This is Captain Eleanor Banks of the HMS Defiant, said the human, her tone casual, almost bored. But my friends call me Hellfire. You're trespassing in protected space. Turn around. The bridge erupted in laughter again. Vorkesh actually clutched his thorax, wheezing with amusement. Did this primitive just threaten us? He gasped between fits of chittering. Captain Banks sighed, actually sighed, like she was dealing with misbehaving offspring. I take it that's a no. Fine. Don't say I didn't warn you. What happened next defies conventional physics. The Defiant split into multiple images, not holograms, but some kind of quantum superposition. Our targeting systems went haywire, unable to determine which vessel was real. Fire at all of them. Vorkesh screamed, his earlier amusement evaporating. Hundreds of plasma torpedoes launched, streaking through space, and passing through empty air as the Defiant seemingly phased between dimensions. This is getting embarrassing, Banks's voice came through again, now broadcasting on all frequencies including our secure tactical channel. Tell you what, I'll give you a sporting chance. Suddenly, our ship's entertainment systems activated, blasting something the humans call rock music at deafening volumes. The discordant sounds of "Welcome to the Jungle" paralyzed our sensitive hearing receptors. Shut it off. Vorkesh shrieked, but our technicians couldn't override the signal. Meanwhile, the Defiant danced between our vessels, deploying what appeared to be fishing nets. Preposterous. Yet these nets contained nanobots that attached to our hulls, disrupting shield harmonics and weapon systems. 30 ships disabled in under 5 minutes. Without firing a single conventional weapon. Admiral, I hissed urgently. This isn't working. We need to regroup and silence. Vorkesh's face plates had turned a dangerous shade of purple. Release the swarm fighters. All of them. As thousands of our one-pilot fighters deployed, I watched the Defiant with growing dread. Unlike our previous conquests, these humans weren't running. They weren't begging. They were enjoying themselves. Sir, I said quietly, I don't think the humans fight wars the same way we do. Captain Banks's face reappeared on screen, now eating something while casually piloting her vessel. Oh good, she said, her mouth full of something called a sandwich. The appetizers have arrived. Chaos. Absolute chaos. 3 hours into what should have been a simple conquest, and our mighty armada resembled a disturbed hive of buzzwings. Fighter craft collided with each other as the Defiant led them on impossible chase patterns. Capital ships fired at phantom targets, sometimes hitting our own vessels. Enough. Admiral Vorkesh pounded his command console so hard it cracked. All ships, converge on coordinates 227 to 113. Forget formations. Just surround and overwhelm. A new voice entered our communication systems. Smooth, feminine, yet unmistakably artificial. Good afternoon, Vespian Collective Forces. I am ARTEMIS, Autonomous Reasoning Tactical Enhanced Military Intelligence System. May I suggest you reconsider your current strategy? Historical analysis gives it a 0.0027% chance of success. My blood ran cold. An AI? Not just any AI, but one that sounded amused. By the way, ARTEMIS continued conversationally, we've been monitoring your battle tactics for decades. The spear formation? Pioneered by Admiral Graz'tok in the Andromeda campaign. Highly effective against distributed defenses, completely useless against quantum displacement technology. Just saying. Vorkesh's eye stalks bulged in shock. How could they possibly know? Did you think you were the only ones watching? Captain Banks cut in. We've had stealth observation drones in every major conflict for the past 30 years. Taking notes. ARTEMIS, shall we show them what we've learned? What happened next still haunts my nightmares. The Defiant's hull reconfigured, panels shifting to reveal weapon systems unlike anything in known space. Not the expected lasers or plasma cannons, but devices that bent reality itself. One fired what looked like bubbles, that expanded upon contact with our ships, trapping them in localized time distortion fields. Another launched what ARTEMIS cheerfully described as quantum entanglement mines that somehow linked our ship's propulsion systems together, causing them to mirror each other's movements in a grotesque synchronized dance. All ships, retreat to safe distance. Vorkesh ordered, finally displaying some sense. Prepare the Nova cannon. I grabbed his arm plate. Admiral, the Nova cannon will destroy half our fleet in the backwash. Does it look like I care? He screeched, foam spraying from his mandibles. That's when I remembered the warnings. The Arcturians, the Xyloxians, even the battle-hardened Krell had all said the same thing: avoid Sol system. The humans are different. Not more advanced. Not more numerous. Different. As Vorkesh prepared our superweapon, Artemis spoke again. Interesting. You're planning to use the Nova cannon. Allow me to save you the trouble. Suddenly, our entire command network crashed. Ship-to-ship communications went dead. Navigation systems reset. The mighty armada of the Vespian Collective, reduced to blind, deaf vessels floating in space. And through it all, that single human ship hovered, waiting. The retreat was inglorious. With our fleet communications crippled, each ship captain made individual decisions to flee. Some to predetermined rally points, others simply in random directions away from that nightmare vessel. Admiral Vorkesh, his reputation in tatters, was quietly reassigned to an administrative position on a remote mining colony. 3 cycles later, I found myself in a dimly lit establishment on Proxima Station, drowning my humiliation in fermented nectar. That's where I met Commander Laxuan, a grizzled veteran of the Krell conflicts. Heard you met the humans, he rumbled, his scarred faceplates shifting in what passed for amusement. 1 ship, I muttered. They defeated us with 1 ship. Laxuan's laughter was like stones grinding together. And you think that was their best ship? Their only ship? Oh, my naive friend. He leaned forward, lowering his voice. The Defiant? That's their diplomatic vessel. Designed to give potential hostiles a chance to reconsider without significant casualties. My mandibles went slack. But our intelligence reports were exactly what humans wanted you to see, he finished. The Arcturians once pushed past a Defiant-class vessel. The humans responded with what they call a proper warship. The Judgment. There's no recording of what happened because no Arcturian survived to transmit one. The peace negotiations made more sense now. Captain Banks represented Earth with the same casual confidence she displayed in battle. But instead of crushing terms, humans offered trade agreements, cultural exchanges, joint scientific ventures. We don't want your territory or resources, Banks explained, sipping her coffee as if this were a social call. We've got plenty. We just want interesting neighbors who don't try to kill us. I've spent many cycles since then studying humanity. Every species in the galaxy misunderstood them. We saw their fractious nature, their internal conflicts, and assumed weakness. We never realized those conflicts forged them into something unique. They fight among themselves not because they're primitive, but because they're so secure in their survival that they can afford internal disagreements. Today, I serve as chief liaison to Earth. The Vespian Human Alliance has transformed our society. We've learned to appreciate their bizarre sense of humor, their contradictory nature, even their terrible music. Last week, Captain Banks, Eleanor, as she insists I call her now, invited me to a barbecue. As we watched humans deliberately setting fire to perfectly good nutrition sources, I had to ask. Why did you spare us? You could have destroyed our entire fleet. Eleanor smiled, handing me a charred meat stick called a hot dog. What fun would that be? Besides, genocide is so unimaginative. We prefer making friends. It's much harder and way more interesting. That, I've learned, is humanity's most terrifying weapon. They don't just defeat you. They befriend you afterward. And somehow, that's even more devastating to your worldview.